The Senate is expected to vote today on a temporary funding bill to avoid a partial government shutdown. The bill would punt tomorrow's deadline to March and give lawmakers more time to reach a full-scale funding deal. President Biden and top congressional leaders met at the White House yesterday to discuss the deadlock surrounding his national security package. That still appears to be far from resolved.
We must insist that the border be the top priority. I think we have some consensus around that table. Everyone understands the urgency of that.
It was a very good meeting and a very positive meeting. There was a large amount of agreement around the table that we must do Ukraine and we must do border.
Scott MacFarlane is joining us now from the Capitol to see what's going on. So, Scott, what's the latest on lawmakers' ability to pass this continuing resolution? This is just in the Senate, but baby steps.
We're seeing potentially a true rarity here on Capitol Hill today, where a snowstorm is potentially going to speed things up. The Senate will vote early this afternoon to do their part to keep the government open and push the deadlines to March. The House timeframe is a bit muddier, but because there's snow expected overnight here in Washington, D.C., and again here tomorrow, and members of the House are disinclined to want to get stuck in a snowstorm and stuck here in Washington, that might move things to today. This could be resolved by the end of the afternoon. And this resolution may be unsatisfying for any number of people. It really is just sliding things back 6 more weeks to keep negotiations going. This truly, Anne-Marie, is the work of 2023 that was supposed to be done last year that they are kicking now into March of 2024.
So that's the Senate, but what about the House? The House is always the real headache. What position does this CR put, which stands for continuing resolution, what position does it put Speaker Johnson in?
We're likely to see a mirror image of what we saw in November and what we saw in October when they pushed the deadlines the first 2 times, where you have them moving outside the traditional rules, circumventing the protocols here to get something quickly passed that has a composition of Democratic and Republican votes. They have to move outside the normal rules because the majority, the Republicans, don't universally support this idea, and they might be able to muck it up if they went through traditional protocols. So we'll see some political complexion in this vote that mirrors what we saw the last 2 times. And it's always worth underscoring. The first time the House did this in this Congress, September 30th, 2023, the House Speaker who orchestrated it lost his job because of it. And it's about to happen a 3rd time, likely today.
All right. So tell us a little more, though, about lawmakers meeting with President Biden, because this continuing resolution, this doesn't even really address what was really kind of the crux of the matter, is that, you know, the White House wants more funding for Ukraine, for the border, and Republicans want more funding, too, but they want to know how that money's being spent, and they can't seem to find any middle ground. How did the conversation go yesterday?
People emerged from this meeting of congressional leaders in the White House expressing optimism, but if you listen closely, you can hear the hints of pessimism behind their message. There seems to be this sense the White House and Democrats are now on board with some type of border security plan. That is movement. It's noticeable and should give Republicans some ability to cut a deal. This is an opportunity, a rare opportunity, where Washington is willing to move on immigration reform. That doesn't happen usually but once in a generation. But whatever compromise senators can hammer out, and they are still working on compromise that they haven't been able to do over the holidays, they weren't able to do in December, may be dead on arrival in the House. And we say that because the Speaker has been throwing shade on these talks since the start. The Republican House majority doesn't just have this as a key issue, it's the key issue for so many Republicans. And then, Anne-Marie, Donald Trump overnight in social media posts encouraging Republicans not to take a Senate deal. It's almost like a sense they want to have this issue for the campaign, and they don't want to get half a loaf when they think they can get a full loaf next year. All kinds of pessimism in the background, despite the optimistic speeches given by the negotiators late yesterday.
Wow. All right, Scott, thank you very much.